All right, well, hello and welcome. I'm the Kodiak Broncos Podcast, and today I'm here to talk about why it is just flat out incorrect that PFF had rated Sauce Gardner over Patrick Surtain in their latest cornerback rankings. But before getting into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You always wait till the end. Hopefully, I'll read it. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, if I'm actually going to move over here just a little bit because I just want to reiterate something. I like the New York Jets. They are my second favorite team. I have nothing bad to say about the Jets. I think Broncos fans should all respect the Jets because we've been in the cellar as they've been in the cellar over the past 8, 9 years or so. We're not in hell anymore, and the Jets are still climbing their way out. But listen, the Broncos and Jets have a very strong relationship. And, obviously we got John Franklin Myers from them. We were originally supposed to trade Jerry Jeudy to them. We got Zach Wilson from them as well. So we had a nice little pipeline going on despite all the Hackett, Sean Payton stuff and whatever. And by the way, our old AGM, Darren Moogie, who got hired to be the GM of the Jets this past year, he made Aaron Rodgers fly to New York just to tell him he was fired. So him and Aaron Glenn, to another Sean Payton guy, you just got to give your props to them for that because that is absolutely awesome that they did that. As a lifelong Aaron Rodgers hater, that made me very happy. But this is just flat out incorrect. Like, I just got to say one thing. I'm going to show you everything about why this ranking is incorrect and why this list is just, I don't think it's a bad list, but I don't get hung up on lists or rankings, but I do when it's just flat out as wrong as this one is. So as far as this list, I don't think it's like that bad of a list. The only thing I will say, Christian Gonzalez has to be on here somewhere. He's been playing at a really high level the past 2 years since he's been in the NFL. And Jair Alexander, I just don't agree with him being at 9 anymore because he's good when he plays, but he misses like 50% of the games. And there was no team that wanted to take on his expensive contract this past offseason when Green Bay was trying to trade him. I feel like if he truly was the ninth best corner in the league, then any team that was a contender would have bid and been willing to take on what he is, but he's just never on the field. So here's what this is. This is from John Costco. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name, but here's why he put Gardner over Patrick Surtain. So he said that Sauce Gardner's 91.9 PFF coverage grade since 2022 leads the league. League high 46 incompletions and a league low 0.6 yards per coverage snap and 21.4 first down plus touchdown rate over that span. He says that unsurprisingly, Gardner's PFF advanced coverage rate ranks first as well. While he might not shadow opposing wide receivers at a high rate, he has excelled when he's asked to do so. So basically, what this is telling me is you're just flat out admitting that Sauce Gardner is hiding. Or I'm not going to say hiding, but he's not asked to shadow the top guy. And Patrick Surtain is very often tasked with shadowing the top guy on any given defense. And it's called Surtain Island for a reason. I know that if there are Jets fans watching this, you might be like, oh yeah, the first island was Revis Island. But guess what? We had a corner who was better back in the day too in Champ Bailey. So I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. So then we get to what he says about Patrick Surtain. He says the reigning defensive player of the year has recorded an 89.5 PFF coverage grade over the past 3 seasons, ranking second amongst cornerbacks, and his PFF advanced coverage grades placed third. Often asked to shadow the opposing team's top wide receiver, Surtain has produced at an elite level, and he's allowed just 0.77 yards per coverage snap over the past 3 years. So here's what I want to get into with this. So Patrick Surtain didn't win Defensive Player of the Year just because everyone was bored, just because there wasn't like a uber cracked edge rusher this past year, just because, whatever. Patrick Surtain won Defensive Player of the Year because look at what he did this past year, okay? When you look at him against the top wide receivers in the NFL and you look at how often he shadowed them and you look at what he did, and, it is kind of hard for a wide receiver or a cornerback to stick on a wide receiver throughout the entire game. So there were some of these dudes that actually did have decent performances against their defense. Like Jamar did end up with over 100 yards. T. Higgins had the Riley Moss assignment. I'm trying to think. I guess if there is one guy you could put an asterisk next to and say that Patrick Surtain did kind of struggle with, it was George Pickens because there were some penalties and big plays that were called back due to the Steelers offense. But other than that, this dude was as locked down as it gets. If you guys remember the Jerry Jeudy disaster, once again, that did not come at the hands of Patrick Surtain either. So when Patrick Surtain was lined up against these guys and, offensive coordinators weren't taking advantages of motion and mismatches or whatever, he was about as locked down as it gets. And you just look at the resume from this past year. Jamar Chase, 43 routes, 3 receptions. Brock Bowers, 6 routes, 1 reception, 9 yards. Mike Evans, 24 routes, 1 reception, 8 yards. Garrett Wilson, 28 routes, 2 receptions, 22 yards. DK Metcalf, 22 yards, or 24 routes, 3 receptions, 29 yards as well. And you know what? I could do that all across the board. Completely shut out Michael Pittman, I should note as well. But if there is one thing I do respect about this John Costco dude, it's that he actually has a defined process for why he did things like this. Since 22 when Sauce was drafted, he's using the raw PFF grade, which I'm really not a fan of. But credit to him, he did back up his take with a bunch of analytics. But what I will say is that last year, in 2022 and 2023, the Broncos defense really, really had a tough time with like soft coverages. And, you know, in the executive poll, there was one of the executives who said that Patrick Surtain often gets targeted or credited with allowing something, being the nearest defender in a soft zone. And the Jets have had a really good defensive ecosystem over the past 3 years. But I get what he's saying. Like, if you just look at the raw box score stats, then sure. I mean, he backed up his take. So I don't want anybody in Broncos country to like go after him like we did with Nate Tice this past year, because I think that this is honestly less blasphemous than saying that the Broncos had a good run game this past year. But just looking at the analytics, I'm here to tell you, John Costco, why you are completely wrong. So if you're just looking at the raw stats, there is pretty much nothing that Patrick Surtain did not do significantly better than Sauce Gardner at this past year. I guess if there is one thing you could say that he did better, or Sauce Gardner allowed less of, it was completions. But guess what? Patrick Surtain had one more game than Sauce Gardner did, and you know he still only allowed 5 more catches, along with the fact that he allowed. I'm trying to think, doing some quick math. That's around 180 less yards than Sauce Gardner. So 5.3 yards per target. Hey, I'll take it. And fine, if you want to bring up the fact that Patrick Surtain did allow touchdowns against Xavier Legette and Nick Chubb, there you go. But Sauce Gardner allowed a touchdown against Calvin Ridley. And obviously the average depth of target for Gardner was more substantial than it was for Patrick Surtain. So Patrick Surtain shut down guys middle and deep as well. So just looking at the air yards, obviously Sauce Gardner allowed a little bit more than Patrick Surtain this past year. And yeah, that's just how I'm feeling about that. But what you'll notice is 8 missed tackles. 8 missed tackles from Sauce Gardner right here. None for the reigning defensive player of the year. And before I get into the film, I'm just going to show you that Sauce has a reputation. And I know my face cam is kind of blocking this little meme, but it said Sauce Gardner had a great start to his career, but let's be real. That man got more handfuls of jersey than Snooki. And I'm obviously thinking back to the game in 2022 where we played against the Jets, and we threw it to Sutton on 4th down, and Sauce Gardner had a lot of contact before the ball got to Cortland Sutton. And in the executive poll last year, one of the GMs said that Sauce Gardner is one of the most overrated players in the league. You could call holding on him every play. And yeah, ultimately, that's just how I'm feeling. So without further ado, let me show you why Patrick Surtain is better and won Defensive Player of the Year, and why he's better than Sauce Gardner. The only time I heard A.D. Mitchell's name against us this past year was when he threw an interception against us. But against the New York Jets, I guess it came against Sauce Gardner when he was running a little drag route across the middle of the field. So you're going to see man coverage across the board, and these two are lined up like right here at the bottom of the screen across from each other. Hopefully you guys can see my mouse. But regardless, so I'm going to let this play out, and you guys can make your own judgments. Unfortunately, Sauce Gardner just did not do a good job staying on A.D. Mitchell. Yeah, once again, I feel like if he was the best corner in the league, I feel like he would just have stuck on A.D. Mitchell a little better, because, I don't know, A.D. Mitchell didn't really do much his rookie year. Props to him for making it work, though. All right, so if you want to see a drag route defended correctly, then watch Patrick Surtain at the bottom of the screen here as well. Same thing with the Broncos. Looks like we've got man coverage across the board. We've got, I think that's Jones. On Bowers. We've got Surtain on this dude. We've got Trey Tucker on Jaquan McMillan, and then Levi Wallace on Jacoby Myers. Yikes. But right here, watch this. Post snap, drag route. And guess what? Patrick Surtain does not give way to him. Patrick Surtain does not allow him to get anything more than just that completion. No yak allowed, no extensions, no turning up field and getting into the red zone or anything like that. You're going to watch it from the tight and realize how good this truly was from Patrick Surtain. So, yeah, good stuff right there. Now, I understand Trey McBride is a great player, but Sauce Gardner caught a lot of heat for this over the past, or when this happened in the NFL season. So we've got Sauce Gardner, uh, who's about to attempt to tackle Trey McBride. The concept of the play is not really all that relevant. What is relevant here, though, is what happens once Trey McBride does get the ball in his hands. So Trey McBride gets the ball in his hands, and he just completely lowbrows Sauce Gardner. Like, I'm sorry. And then he hurdles the dude. Like, bro. Yeah, all right. Let's watch that one more time in real time. This is your best corner in the league. Like, I'm sorry. Once again, I just don't know how you publish that list and think back to this play and you're just like, yeah, he's better than Surtain. So, right here, if you want to see how you defend against an elite tight end, we've got another drag route right here. And guess what? I know that this isn't the best ball in the world, but hey, the best way to defend a dude is to not even allow him to get a catch in the first place. And I guess with Patrick Surtain right there, that was his philosophy, and that was what he was thinking going in. And yeah, it would have been a heck of a throw if it was completed. But yeah. And then last thing I'm going to show you is run support, because I'm not going to keep harping on this. We could do this all day long where I show you Surtain's highlights and Sauce Gardner's lowlights. And, you know, there are lowlights from every defensive back out there. So I just got to say, Sauce Gardner's a great player, and I'm not doing this to, like, harp on him or anything. I'm just saying he's not better than PS2. So we've got run defense right here. We've got Jets, 49ers, Week 1, Monday Night Football. And what we've got right here, notice Sauce Gardner creeping down right here. He's got a chance to make an open field tackle on Jordan Mason. Unfortunately, he just doesn't do it. And he allows him to get 5 or 6 extra yards, which just isn't good. Once again, not saying he's a bad player or anything like that, but PS2, no missed tackles on the year. Sauce Gardner, 8 missed tackles on the year. His lowest tackle conversion percentage throughout his career so far. So how do you do this with the body of work in 2024 from Sauce Gardner? And last thing I'm going to show you is, sorry, you can see my NFL Pro slider, but you're going to watch Patrick Surtain at the bottom of the screen right here. Broncos defense, it tightens up. It's like 3rd and 5 or whatever. And you're going to notice Patrick Surtain recognizes almost instantly, hey, this check down's coming to P. Ryan. So with a chance to make an open field tackle, I mean, if he doesn't make an open field tackle, this could be hazardous because the Chiefs could get a first down. But instead, everybody rallies to the ball, and Patrick Surtain does a great job of wrapping up. Once again, I'm not saying that this was like some magical play or anything like that, but if you're going to be better than Patrick Surtain, you got to just convert on the gimmies. And unfortunately, Sauce Gardner did not do a lot of that in his 2024 film. So that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Maha salute.